What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Altcoin Buzz coming to you from my new home. Think I've got the mic situation fixed up. Let me take these glasses off. They're glaring, of course. And so hopefully we don't bump into any issues like we had last time, but the mic should be up and working. If you guys can hear me, like the video, let me know so that I know that I'm not having one of those glitches like I had last time where it was just really ridiculous, right? I was talking to myself. All right, so let's revisit that. So people are asking where I've been. Number one is I've been moving into my house, pouring concrete, planting citrus trees, making all these different things, and still paying attention to the market. But more than anything, I didn't have internet for 2 weeks because it's a brand new house, and Cox Communications didn't have internet out here with the fiber optic. But now I got 500. I got fiber optic and 300 megabytes per second. That's pretty fast, right? So I'm back in it. I'm like, okay, let's go, market. Let's give me what you got. Like, let's see some moves. But the market doesn't care what I want. The market doesn't care what any of us want. It's really got some issues, and it's going to have to iron out a lot of those issues. But I think we will. I mean, fiat currency, that technology is so outdated. I mean, it's like a tape player cassette compared to a CD. And even more realistically, it's like a CD when you should be using an AirPod, right? Or an iPod. So, I mean, the technology of blockchain is so superior to what they're currently using for digital transactions. Really? I mean, come on. Have you ever sent an international transaction over across the seas? I mean, the thing is, there's still a lot of kinks. They've got to just iron out all of these kinks, and that's going to take some dang time. And then, while they're trying to get this technological innovation, you've got these scammy people that come in and throw the thing off. And that goes back to the whole thing with like BlackRock. They said they won't launch the Bitcoin ETF until crypto is legitimate, says the CEO, Larry Fink. What he's saying is, I wouldn't say never when it's legitimate. Yes, Fink said at the New York Times Deal Book Conference as that it will ultimately have to be backed by a government. I don't sense that any government will allow that unless they have sense of where the money's going. And what they mean by that is when we were investing in ICOs, me, myself included, I was investing in a lot of ICOs. I was just like, hey, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go ahead and invest in that. And then what ended up happening was there was some people in those projects that, whatever they did with that money, we still may never know. And the SEC found out about that and said, hey, we can't let that happen under our watch, right? So, I mean, we've got these clowns out there, these bad actors, and they exist. And, we invested in some of these projects and we didn't realize that was going to happen. But that's a bad look for all of us. I mean, it pisses me off as much as anyone. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's terrible that these ICOs would just take the money and run. But to the projects who've hung in there, good on them. I mean, I think there's even some projects who probably ICO'd, didn't realize that we were going to go into a bear market for what's almost coming up on a year now. And they might even be like, forget this, I'm out, right? So Bitcoin Andy says, where am I? I am living in Arizona. I have a new channel. It's called Living in Arizona. If you guys want to know questions about Arizona, that's where I'm at. So people ask, thoughts on Blockchain City in Reno? Well, I don't know about Blockchain City in Reno, but I do like America's best little city, Reno. That's a great city. So if we just take a look at some of the cryptocurrency market, by the way, guys, I am going to be looking to do a segment, maybe once a week for now, as I continue to get back into crypto. Maybe once every Tuesday or something, I'll announce that so you guys can tune in and we can talk, and I'll make sure I come to the table with some real good analysis, stuff that I think my opinion is. Of course, that's all it is opinion, right? And, for those of you who want to hear, you'll know. If you want to listen to me, then I'll be talking on that. As far as the market goes right now, I really like just Bitcoin in general. It's like for me, it's the place I like to go for investments is Bitcoin, especially at these prices. I mean, it's just where I keep going. I mean, I just keep, could we have? Sure, we could have. We could go. I mean, the market could keep going down. I mean, we're looking at potentially a 1 to 2 year forecast. I mean, I've got to be really patient. Like I see money in there and I've watched my balance go down significantly and I held everything in there. But I mean, I'm like, man, what am I going to do with this money? Do I have the patience to wait it out for another year or two? And I have to be honest with myself and say that's what it's going to take. Now, what's a year or two in the grand scheme of life? Not very long, right? Could it be longer than a year or two? Yeah, it could take 10 years, or it could be like it was beforehand, where cryptocurrency just started gaining momentum out of nowhere, and then it just went like, in 2017. If you look at where it was in January all the way to where it ended in December, I mean, that was a massive run. And I think I would anticipate if that was just less than 1% of global mainstream adoption, if this thing does kick off, this superior tech to fiat currency, this blockchain currency or digital currency that we use now, if it does kick off and we go from 1 to 10%, I mean, I don't know how, it probably won't repeat itself with the same kind of scenario, but could there be big gains in there? Possibly. But for me, I'm like, Bitcoin, if I start getting into more altcoins, which I hold a ton of them, I'll be looking at some of these projects for not just elements of scammy stuff. Like I want to know their team now really deep before I get into these investments moving forward. I'm not doing this whole like, hey, that's a good idea thing anymore. Like the whole good idea thing, that boat passed. Like that's not going to get you by anymore. Now it's like, what are you bringing to the table? Where are you working on? How's that roadmap look? And how are those deliverables on the roadmap? And that was kind of how we were approaching it, but we weren't able to get the transparency. Moving forward, if they're going to get our money, it's going to have to be with our lessons learned, and we're not playing this cool talk, this cool guy stuff anymore, right? So, hell yeah, it looks like I'm sponsored by Verizon. I've got these little flip phones. I've got a smartphone, but I use these flip phones for my other businesses. No sense in having like a bunch of smartphones in my pocket when I could use these flip phones. I have nothing against flip phones. That's also a drone right there and a drone right there. I like drones. Drones are my thing. This is not an apartment. No, this is a house. This is just an office in a house. So yeah, if you guys want to talk about some other stuff, go ahead and crush that like button and we can keep this thing moving. But more than anything, like I said, Bitcoin. Now, will we repeat what we saw before? I would say, obviously, it's not going to look the same. They say history repeats itself, meaning there could be a run, but it's not going to be the same kind of scenario. There's going to be new coins that are going to come up into the mix, like these altcoins that are kind of going to rise up. Those would be the ones that I would be personally looking out for. I don't know who they will be, these new projects that are going to bring in new tech, because I've been hearing through the woodworks that there is people who are leaving their full-time jobs to go work in blockchain tech full time, like some real, ninjas, like some people who know how to do, business and also have the tech coding and the programming in their resume, who are coming into this space. And, those guys, when they start delivering, they're going to be delivering some real quality, not this Joker stuff that we saw where they were like, hey, I'll ICO and make $1 million real quick and sell my Ethereum to fund my project and go buy a mansion or whatever they did. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe, probably all of them, not all of them did that, right? But another coin, XRP seems to just be like a strong investment. I mean, it goes against that whole idea of, going away from centralization, but XRP, it really is a strong cryptocurrency. Ethereum still has Vitalik. The thing with Vitalik is he's been known to kind of just be really spacey. For all of his intelligence, he kind of goes way out there. Like, I mean, he goes way out there and loses people, and people sometimes are just listening. And I know you guys are guilty of it too, where you're just like, I don't know what he's talking about, but it sounds good. That's Vitalik, right? Like he starts talking about token economics and you're like, okay, yeah, I got you. And then all of a sudden you're like, I'm lost. What's he talking about? But, Vitalik still has that genius where he was able to say blockchain can be used for more than just finance. And then you have these decentralized applications that are, running on blockchain. And that was really a brainchild of Vitalik. Now, it would be nice to see if we can get another kind of Vitalik character, like where you had Steve Jobs and Gates, right? Like driving the engine for tech on the internet days. I mean, I guess you have Satoshi and Vitalik. As far as Litecoin goes, we've got to really be honest with ourselves. I mean, has Litecoin's days numbered, or are they still silver to Bitcoin's gold? But the thing is, if I look at all these coins, I mean, I see Bitcoin Cash, I see Cardano and Stellar, which are like hybrids. You know, they do their application developer platforms with the currency and maybe even more efficient than Litecoin. But can Litecoin withstand the sands of time, right? And then you've got something like Binance Coin that's an exchange and a coin, and it's the #1 exchange. So, I mean, there's all these variables that we have to really keep an eye on. And right now, everything's just kind of, there's no real flow, right? The river's not flowing. It's kind of just stagnant. We're in stagnation. This is what we're in, is the market stagnation. We don't know if we're going to go down and we don't know if we're going to go up, but we're not really seeing too many new ICOs. Like many of us haven't even, like, I don't even think I've invested in a single ICO in 2018. If I did, it was way back in the beginning. But I mean, we're not seeing new projects coming in, and you know, we've got a bunch of projects out there that we like to think are working and not getting bored. But how do we know that some of these projects aren't like giving up, right? They're just kind of like on the market still, but they're not really working. And how many of those are like that in the top 20 even, right? So we'll see. Thanks to everyone who cranked up that like button. Litecoin on Facebook Messenger now. I haven't seen it on Facebook Messenger, but if that's the case, that'd be interesting. Let's see here. What do you think of BAB? I think I'm not touching BAB. I think if you got BAB, that's good. I'm good on altcoins. Like I've got enough altcoins. I got over 50 altcoins. I'm not trying to get into anything like BAB. Now, if something comes along that's like the next Ethereum or something groundbreaking and it catches my attention, like if Steam could get some more steam, that would be fun for me, really. Or if like 10x could really do something special, like if there was a cryptocurrency that was no joke on the verge of being like an app like Apple Pay or Samsung Pay or WeChat Pay, depending on where you're at, if we could get something like that, that's where like I'm looking out for a conversation about that. Like, is there a technology that's actually bringing cryptocurrency transactions to the phone? And if it's not through the phone, is it going to be a card where I'm actually able to transact cryptocurrency? So, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But the second I start hearing chatter about that, I'm going to analyze that news. I'm going to look into it, and I'm going to see who it is, what they're doing, how serious it is, who they're working with, because they're going to have to be in there with some financial institution, whether it be JP Morgan or Merrill Lynch or whoever, Merrill Edge, Goldman Sachs, I don't know, but Visa. But that's kind of what I'm looking for, because we need that ability to transact. We can't just keep doing this whole hold thing. Like unless these decentralized apps eventually become what blockchain's used for, it's still primarily driven by the financial technology, the fintech, right? So, and if we're just looking at that, you've got Bitcoin and XRP is really like the ones that are in position for the monopoly on that. Could XRP be dethroned? Could Bitcoin be dethroned? Sure, we'll have to keep an eye on that too, right? IBM Digital Credits thoughts. IBM Digital Credits. I mean, that's kind of like Apple Pay. Like you guys use Apple Pay, right? It's pretty efficient. Like you just put your thumb on there, and next thing you know, you just bought something. It's kind of the efficiency you were hoping with digital currency should have, right? It's like, hey, they just took the digital currency aspect and just did it finally. Because before, like if you wanted to invest something, let's say you wanted to donate to a cause, right? You're on GoFundMe. Like you're in your bed, maybe you're getting ready to go to bed, and you're just scrolling on your timeline, and someone's like, hey, donate to this cause to save humanity. And you're like, okay, I'll donate $25, right? And then they're like, enter your credit card information. You're like, what the heck? Like, I don't know my credit card, so I got to get up, go to the other room, get my wallet, pull out my card and type in all those numbers, hope that I get them all right, make sure I get my CVC code and my expiration date. And I'm like, I mean, I've been saying this for 10 years. I was like, that is so archaic. Like, at least hook up PayPal. But now they got this Apple Pay where you just go, yeah, donate $25, bam. I'm like, ooh, whoa. But again, we're still dealing with an archaic financial system, with that fiat style currency. Do you day trade, Jeff? I am investing in the stock market. Yes, I have been investing in the stock market for a while. I don't talk about that because most of you guys don't like the stock market, but yeah, I do invest in the stock market. If you ever want to know what stocks I like, and I can compare notes with you guys all day long, we can. But do I day trade crypto? No, I do not day trade crypto. I hold crypto, and I really like to hold Bitcoin as of right now. Ron Hilton says I used to say I don't own stocks. No, I started to get into stocks around early of 2018. I might have said that probably in late 2017, but I started to get into stocks. I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, if I said something that was contrary to that, or you thought you heard something contrary to that, the truth is I started buying most of my stocks in 2018, I'd say. T-Dog says, of course, you should talk about stocks. Well, I mean, if I look at some of the market cap on, like, for example, Snapchat, like what's the market cap on Snapchat? It's $8.3 billion, right? And a lot of people in particular CNBC, they don't like Snapchat. They're always putting down Snapchat. But the thing they don't understand about Snapchat is I think there is a future for Snapchat. And especially now that it's down in the dumps at like under $6 with an $8.3 billion market cap. If you compare that to what a cryptocurrency that has an $8.3 billion market cap, I think that was like Cardano had an $8.3 billion market cap for the longest time. Right now, Bitcoin Cash has that roughly the same market cap as Snapchat. But think about how many people have Snapchat right now. So I think there's a lot of room to grow with Snapchat. And if I look at I think Snapchat's valuation is like 1/15 of what Facebook's is, maybe even less. So I think that for sure, in my opinion, Snapchat at $6 and something is undervalued. It has nothing to do with fanfare or anything. I'm just looking at it from like people use Snapchat and it's going to keep going up. Okay, they say Snapchat is dying to Instagram. Yeah, but here's the thing, antitrust laws, if Instagram it's the same thing that Gates bumped into in the 90s where Microsoft was number one. He basically cut a loan to Apple to get Apple back in business because the government was saying, hey, you've got no competition. This is against antitrust violations. And so there's got to be competition. So Facebook, whether they're stealing Snapchat's idea or not, and they're not, yeah, they are stealing the idea, but Snapchat still got a future, I think. And I think Snapchat, if you were to compare Snapchat and Twitter, Twitter hasn't technologically evolved for a long time. Like I haven't seen Twitter do anything really exciting. Like I'm surprised Jack is still the CEO. Like that company, they get so much press and publicity, but no one really likes using their platform outside of crypto Twitter. That's just it. So, all right, Dennis says, what's up with ETN? I like ETN. I still like ETN, especially when it's in the penny range. I mean, ETN it's a British project and they're still active, and they've been one of the most active projects that I've seen in this dormant stagnation that we've had, right? So ETN, Richard Elsie still is updating. I mean, I pay attention to it, and I saw them rally a little bit, and they still have one of the largest user bases. They still to this day have the largest ICO. So ETN, I'm still excited about ETN, and I still hold all my ETN that I ever got from the ICO. But if they don't, the thing with them is they've been known to be complacent. That's the only thing is they let their guard down, and they have a lot of different things that kind of pop up. So sometimes it's better if there's like this very small team instead of these huge teams, because once you get a huge team, you start delegating things, and that's when you get broken links. And that's kind of what ETN has. I think their team is too big. They should probably centralize it to like 3 or 4 people real quick and make sure they get everything in place, and just kind of keep it small while they're developing it. instead of having like 15 to 20 people behind the deal, and then sell all their currency and make it truly a decentralized currency. So I mean, like these big corporations, I don't like corporations. Like, I mean, I guess I like them because they create. Corporations are good for people who don't want to be entrepreneurial. Like if you're an entrepreneur, you're like, man, corporations are a joke. Like, how are those guys even successful? Like the more corporations I work with, and I see like people when they work at corporations, they don't really care about their job. They don't care about the results. They just care if they're getting their paycheck and if they look like they're doing their work, but they don't really go the extra mile. Where a business owner, they'll work 7 days a week. Like business owners work 7 days a week. They might, but the luxury of being a business owner, you could take off at noon any day you want, or you could take a full day off. But people who work the 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, those people, they really just don't have much skin in the game. So it's hard to really get great results from those kind of people. And they take forever to get things done. Like corporations, I can get things done in half a day that take corporations 3 weeks to do. And I've seen that happen. Like to build a landing page for a website, I can build that in 6 hours. That a corporation still 3 weeks into it hasn't even completed the landing page. I'm like, it's a landing page. Build the landing page. 3 weeks ago, we put in the work request. You get it? So, all right. LA Lopez says he's buying some Ethereum Classic. Okay. That's cool. I mean, I got some Ethereum Classic. I've been waiting on that thing, right? Encash is like ETN, soon will boom. Yeah, I don't need too many coins like ETN or Encash in there. Pundy or Square. Well, Jack, the Twitter CEO, he's no Elon Musk. Let's just say that. But he's also the CEO of Square, and I would probably say Square, even with Jack, who I'm surprised he still has a job at Twitter. I'm surprised there hasn't been more of a call to fire Jack because he's like, I mean, if I was doing as bad of a job as Jack is doing, I'd probably step down. Like Jack is not Mark Zuckerberg, even though he's been able, like, yeah, sorry. Elon Musk isn't a genius like people think. Well, Elon has been exposed to be or appear to be a party guy lately because, but yeah, he is still super genius. Like to say he's not genius is tripping. Like you're tripping. I'm not trying. I don't even know who you are. I don't even know. I didn't even say your name, but Elon Musk really is a genius. He's not just pretending. Like that's not a fraud. That's real. Okay. And I have no reason to say that about anyone because I don't even know Elon, and I don't like, I'm not like in like some sort of love affair with like his ego, like his persona. So like, I'm just saying that dude is really a genius. But he does, you saw him smoking on Joe Rogan and what else was he doing? He goes to Burning Man like every year, and you know what they do at Burning Man, right? So, I mean, he could be kind of like relaxing a little bit and partying a bit and kind of, burning the wick at both ends where he's working, but he's like also playing. So it's like the wick keeps getting smaller. Whereas if he's going to keep, he needs to keep focused on work if he's going to keep that job of his. But yeah, XRP is bullish. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I like XRP. I really do. Like the coins that I like right now are XRP and Bitcoin. That's kind of the way I see it. Regardless of whether or not they're a centralized coin. I mean, and this goes along the lines of a thing I tweeted the other day on Blockchain J, where I said, so like this idea that China is going to come in and create a digital currency or a blockchain digital currency and be successful with it. Why would people adopt that around the world? So you're saying that people in Switzerland are just going to be like, oh man, I can't wait to pick up the digital renminbi. No, but they will say something decentralized like Bitcoin. They'll be like, hey, I'm sick of this. They'll follow Kim.com. Kim.com, they'll be like, he's all like, I told you guys a long time ago, buy precious metals and cryptocurrency. Watch, I'll be right. Kim.com, that big dude. But that's what he said. But these countries that like China that think they're just going to create a digital currency and I'd be surprised if that actually works, because they're not going to get the global adoption unless they come in and just basically overhaul all fiat for digital currency. They say digital dollar, digital renminbi, digital yen, digital yuan, whatever. We'll see about that. But he's the creator of Mega Upload. Yeah, Kim.com. If you guys don't know who he is, you go follow him on Twitter, especially if you're into crypto. You'll like Kim.com because he's a big bullish crypto, and he's got like 750,000. He's better for the space than McAfee, because McAfee, look, old man McAfee, great, okay, whatever, but he's on drugs. He's admitted he's on drugs, and I don't care who you are. If you're on drugs, it's really hard to think the way that we need people thinking with sober minds. And McAfee, he just got carried away. And so I would say start paying more attention to Kim.com. And now I'm not saying he's God, so don't treat him like he's a god, but he's got a big following and he's into crypto. So if you're into crypto, you'll like him. It's Kim.com, Kim, D-O-T.com. So he doesn't do Kim.com. He does Kim, D-O-T.com. He spells it that way on Twitter. I'm going to start doing those screen share videos where I'm not showing my face as much, or showing my face where I just share the screen again, but I have to upload those. I'm trying to figure out how I can do that live. That's what I want to be able to do, is live screen shares. Right now, the only way I can do live is just by pushing the YouTube button and it just says live, but it doesn't have the software to let me do that. And I've got OBS and I've got some other thing that I bought for $109. I just haven't figured it out. Thoughts on IOST? I do not really have an opinion on IOST other than I bought into it a while back and I'm like, whatever, we'll see where that goes. Yeah, if you guys are curious about Kim.com, go check him out. But like I said, he's not God, but he is a Bitcoin bull, and he's got the same amount of followers as McAfee. In fact, when you go onto his page, I know you guys like to shill, just go on there and be like, I'm only following you because you pump crypto or you talk crypto, right? And then that'll get him going. But he talks crazy. He talks about the American deep state. He lives out in New Zealand. He talks a little crazy like that, but he thinks the dollar is going to bust. I was even listening to Gary Vaynerchuk. There's another guy you should follow if you don't already, Gary V. Now, Gary V, he talks a lot. You think I talk a lot? Gary V talk. Like, I'm almost convinced that Gary V just wants to hear himself talk. He talks so much. Like, some of us, when we're in the room with people, we let other people talk. Gary V, all he does is talk. But he's been on record to say positive things about crypto, but he's also got a video out there where he's talking about how to prepare for the next fiat economic depression or recession, right? Island B says, Jeff talks a lot. Well, I'll tell you what, if I was just sitting here and I wasn't talking, you guys wouldn't tune in, right? So if I've got to talk, I've got to be boisterous. Hey, Jeff, Mark needs more spotlight. He's incredible. Yeah, I actually met Mark in person in Las Vegas. I hung out with Mark. He's really a cool guy. I told him, I said, man, I want to come hang out with you again, Mark. So I do like Mark. I've met Mark. I've met Shosh Watt. Shosh is really cool. I've met Shosh in Singapore twice. I met him in Switzerland also. We hang out. I get along with these guys. These are like my friends, like people that I hang out with that are just great people to hang out with. And we can talk about stuff that we're all related to, like stuff that we relate to, right? Which is crypto and like technology. Whereas like if I'm hanging out with some people in my family, I start talking about Bitcoin. They're like, oh God, here it goes again. I'm like, oh man. So what do I think? I'm like, okay, I need more people who are like me who want to talk about this stuff. Brandon says, do you play Mario games or Pokemon? I played Mario. One of my favorite games ever was Mario Kart when I was a kid. Thanks, guys. Thanks, VR Entertainment. Guessing this is why so many people here speak on holding even when the prices are falling. Got to learn money management and portfolio management. Yeah, I mean, it's like the housing market right now. The housing market is really high. So I just bought a house right now in the in this high market here, and I'm like, what did I just learn about buying high? It's not the time to buy. But I was like, well, I was also following a principle of saying, well, it's better to own than rent. So I decided to own. But because I plan on living here for a long time, I'm okay with riding a recession up into a peak. Now, um, I know people who've been owning houses for 3 years out here in Phoenix. Their home was once worth 210 and now it's worth 280, 290. And they're like, should I buy or should I sell? And they're all trying to call like when the next recession, the financial recession happens. My opinion on that is kind of political. And what it is because Trump has such a huge, massive ego, the last thing Trump wants to go down in history as being is the guy who was president during a recession, right? Like the guy's ego is so big, like it would hurt his feelings so bad, like he would never be able to live that down to have like a bad economy during his presidency. So I'm thinking that whatever he's going to do is going to keep the American economy strong. If he got voted out, say in 2020, we might be in a little bit tumultuous waters because. But what I mean, this is just an assessment. I'm just saying that because his ego is so big, he's going to do everything he can to make sure this economy is strong. So we'll see. I mean, this is just kind of like thoughts. Do you think that Trump's going to be commander in chief of a recession economy? I'd be surprised if that happened under his watch. And a lot of people don't like him because they think he's uncouth and he talks crazy. Which I would agree with, right? He says some crazy stuff. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, did he just say that? Like, why did he just say that? But if we're just looking at it like without emotions and we're just looking at it like strictly analytical, we have to take this into consideration. Who's the president? If it was Obama, we'd have to be looking at it from that same scope. Like, Obama's president, what do we need to know about this? What is the SEC like? What's the Supreme Court like? What's the, these are the things we have to look at. The politics do matter. Like if Xi Jinping, he's the president for life in China. So you got to know what he's doing. You got to know what Shinzo Abe says about crypto. He's the president of Japan, right? I mean, you got to know what these presidents are saying. Who's the leader of the EU? That I don't know, but I want to know what they're saying too, Do I have other businesses? Yeah, I was telling you guys earlier, I just started a channel here living in Arizona. It's called Living in Arizona. It's got an orange logo. That's me. Me and my brother started that. My brother doesn't do YouTube. He's a real estate agent, but I told him, I said, hey, let's do a channel. Because, I like Arizona. I think Arizona is really a great place to live. It's got warm weather. It's got modern infrastructure. And I don't think there's many other places I'd rather live. The only thing missing in Arizona is the ocean. If Arizona had the ocean, it would probably be, there's not many places on planet Earth that I would rather live. Straight up. Phoenix is awesome. Maybe the only other thing that besides the ocean is it could use some like better mass transit, like trains or light rail. But other than that, it's very modern. The people are friendly, like cool people, like very like easy to get along with people. Like everywhere I go, I'm getting along with people. Occasionally, maybe 1 out of 10 people might rub you the wrong way. So 90% of the people are pretty cool. And I like that. Arizona, and it's got good weather. But the people being friendly makes it a really cool place. But things are spread out. Like they just build out. Like when you build a house in Arizona, you just plow over some tumbleweeds, you dig a hole and you lay a foundation. And then you have a house, and then so they're always building here, and it's all new. But in the summertime, it does get hot. But then again, in Singapore, in the summer it gets hot. In Dubai, it gets hot. Spain was hot. Where does it not get hot in the summertime? Anyways, it's just a dry heat. Like go turn on your AC. At least in Arizona, they believe in ACs. I've been in places that were so damn hot, like San Diego. When San Diego gets hot, they don't have air conditioners in there. So at least in Arizona, like go in your house, turn on your air conditioner. Okay, wait till nighttime when it cools down and go back out. It's hot in Sydney, right? So, the whole it's hot in Arizona thing, go inside where the air conditioner is. Like go to the mall. Do I trade Forex? I've thought about trading Forex. I'm looking to get more into Forex. I just like trading markets. Yeah. I mean, why? What do you have in mind for me on the Forex talk, crypto futures? MF says Sammy the Bull. Sammy the Bull, yeah, he was out here in Arizona, wasn't he? I remember that. Sammy the Bull Gravano, right? Norm Bulldog says, why aren't I talking about the title? We already talked about that in the beginning of the video about why we think the market would, like this, we're 35 minutes into this, so I'm not going to talk about that over and over. But as far as the market goes with that, for those of you who are just joining in, I believe that the blockchain technology is superior to the fiat technology that currently exists digitally, right? And we've kind of outlined that as in order to send international transfer, you need all these different things. In order to send cryptocurrency, you just put in someone's private key and hit send, right? And even when they automate that, it's just that private key will already be installed in there, and it's masked by the name. So you would just basically be like Venmo. Like, you ever use Venmo? That's a great financial technology, like Apple Pay. But at the end of the day, the security infrastructure is better with blockchain. So that's a huge component to it, is the security. But I do think that the technology, the fintech behind Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, there is a future for that. So I would anticipate more growth. That's what I anticipate. Could we have in between now and the growth sector? Yeah, we could go down to 3,000. It could happen. But does it change why I'm still involved? No, I'm still involved because I still think it's a superior tech to what the banks and all these other financial technologies have. So I do anticipate a run again, because we're still at 1% adoption. So obviously, if it does get adopted, this financial technology, I mean, that's the risk. High risk, high reward, right? That's what you're investing in. It's the high risk, high reward, but the financial technology of the blockchain. And so I think we all have seen the reason, the rationale behind it. And now we've just got to get these bad actors to stop distracting everyone from the real tech, and get some more infrastructure in place and get these bad guys out of the way. But it's also a global community, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, I do think it's going to grow. For those of you, that's basically in summary. And I would be surprised if any one of you in the audience, I mean, now, obviously there's probably about 2 out of 10 of you out there who are only watching out of spite, who really don't like Bitcoin. I've seen you guys out there, so there is that. But I would be surprised if the majority of you don't agree with those sentiments that blockchain technology is a superior technology to what is currently existing. Yes, I am tired. Okay. So anyway, yes, I am still holding my ETN. All right, guys. Well, it's good to see y'all. What's up, Ron Hilton? I do love me some Bitcoin. I got my Bitcoin shirts. I'm getting more Bitcoin shirts. Like, I'm just going to keep getting more Bitcoin shirts. On my other channels, I wear my Bitcoin shirts. I don't know why you guys don't already have your Bitcoin shirts, but that's what's up. Bitcoin, Bitcoin shirts. So I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys are all doing good. Thanks to everyone who pumped up the like button. And I'm going to be doing some more screen share videos hopefully soon. So thank you for watching. Thanks, Leo Bravo. And see y'all.